my name is Debbie Alsep. Welcome to another installment of Bright Day Thoughts. Today I am joined by Dr. Mikio Sankey, and we are here to discuss esoteric acupuncture. So, Dr. Sankey, what is the difference between traditional acupuncture and esoteric acupuncture?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me. And there is quite a bit of difference. Traditional acupuncture focuses mainly on the physical body, working with the physical ailments, whether it's arthritis, diabetes, some of it working with emotional and maybe mental disturbances, but it's mostly focused on the physical. Esoteric is really multi-level, but the basic idea of esoteric is working on the planes of consciousness above the mental. Of course, since we are putting needles into the body, traditional acupuncture needles, and most of the points are traditional points, we're going to have some of this overlapping, some of the same functions. But when I do it in a sequence, we're going to access planes of consciousness above the mental. So instead of working strictly with the physical, etheric, astral, and mental, we are now going to access planes of consciousness above the mental.
So could it help you be more aware of the third dimension itself rather than just other dimensions?
Of course. You know, there's many different levels of awareness. You have people that, on the third dimension, for example, let's just say you go someplace and you notice there's a bunch of shoes outside, and so, you know, if you're more aware, you automatically, before you enter the building, you'll take your shoes off. While someone that's not so aware may leave the shoes on.
Wow, that's such a subtle thing.
But by taking esoteric acupuncture, you know, receiving some treatments, maybe next time they'll become more aware. Oh, wow, everybody's taking their shoes off. So yeah, I can work on both 3D and higher.
I would think even if you enter a room, you might get a feeling, I don't want to be here, and you leave, and that there may be something going on there that really you don't want to be around. Well, that kind of awareness?
Well, that's really working higher than 3D. That's working with the level of knowing, which is above the 5 regular senses.
But esoteric acupuncture can help you get there.
Well, let's put it this way. Esoteric acupuncture allows you to be in a certain consciousness that will help you go to those areas. It doesn't by itself not make you smarter or more intelligent or more aware, but it sets up the field within your system, so it gives you the opportunity to move it.
So, like, if I have something wrong with me and I go to a doctor and I get pills, I go home, I just take my pills and I don't give my ailment another thought. But with esoteric acupuncture, I'm giving myself more thought?
Well,
overall?
Okay, with esoteric acupuncture, even if you think about it or not, if you come here and come to me, for example, and have something, I don't know what's going on, I'm overall kind of yucky. So I give you esoteric treatment, you're going to feel much better, whether you think about it or not. But the idea is to consciously work with the energies of esoteric acupuncture and try to move into a higher plane of consciousness. What
would that entail that I do when I'm at home? I mean, do I have to change my lifestyle?
Yes. Esoteric acupuncture is complete life. It's not a system of just learning new points. The word esoteric itself means something that's hidden. You need to go beneath the surface to discover what it really means. Acupuncture comes from 2 words, acus, which is needle obelisk in Latin. The word acus also stands for temple. Puncture is from the English meaning that means to pierce. So what we're doing is we're piercing your temple to what? Trying to go into the esoteric world. Now we're not going to say, oh, I got a pain here, let's put a needle here, I have pain here. That's the exoteric world. Esoteric is we're trying to discover something else, and that something else is dependent upon your level of consciousness.
So, would you recommend that I go out there and find a guru or something, or to help me with that consciousness bit, or?
Well, my opinion, in the age we're moving into now, we do not have to have gurus. Age of Pisces, it was very in vogue to find the latest guru, follow this Swami, follow this person, follow that, whoever was the latest rabbi, the latest Buddhist monk, whoever, which is still fine. With esoteric acupuncture, we've been able to discover we have that guru within us. We have what's called a guru chakra, and by doing certain things with the lifestyle, we're able to open that up. But the lifestyle entails also being very conscious of foods. You can come for an esoteric acupuncture treatment and go home and have a beer and have some French fries, which is fine. But it's not going to be as beneficial overall as if you start moving toward a finer frequency. Esoteric acupuncture works with finer frequencies, which also means finer frequency foods, finer frequency thoughts.
Like foods and beverages with chi, with life force in it?
Well, with finer frequency. Caffeine has a lot of life force, but
it's not finer.
It's too dense.
So dense kind of weighs you down, kind of holds you.
Yeah, that's the idea of being heavier.
So you want to be less heavy so that you can see and experience.
Well, that is a goal for many people, not for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to open up consciousness, less dense foods, less dense thoughts will help open up that higher frequency.
Well, I think it's great that you can do something on a daily basis with your meals, just something that simple that can actually contribute to that, because I think a lot of people haven't thought of that.
Well, among my patients and ex-students, they always think I'm a broken record. I keep saying, eat your greens. Greens have one of the highest frequencies. The green, 528 hertz, is the same resonance as the heart, anahata frequency, and also 528 is the vibration of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green in the heart chakra system. In the chakra system, the heart is green. So if you're ingesting green foods, biochemists have shown that ingesting green foods will make red blood cells the fastest. Healthy red blood cells, not just red blood cells, healthy red blood cells. What controls the blood in Chinese medicine? The heart. So by ingesting green foods, we are going to also open up that heart chi, and that's the goal, is to move toward our center, which is the heart.
Wow, it seems to me that even if you don't want higher consciousness, just eating your greens will help you be physically more healthy.
Well,
and I mean, that alone. And then I bet you just start getting higher consciousness effortlessly.
Well, one of the biggest killers in America is colon cancer. Okay? And people with that type of challenge, most of them do not eat greens. And
Eat your greens!
And you're constipated. So that's just, to me, it makes sense. Just why not have some greens every day? Especially in a place like Southern California, we can eat greens all year round, raw greens all year round.
Well, let me ask you a question. Now, acupuncture, done by just traditional acupuncturists, are there any points that they learn in school? Because I hear it's something like 361 plus. Are there any points that you think are valuable that they kind of ignore or don't use on a regular basis? Like, as to maybe that's a good reason to go toward esoteric acupuncture too?
Well, yeah, some of the points that we learned that they don't use on a regular basis. One of the main points is Shenbao, do 20. It's below the fifth thoracic vertebrae and access the heart chakra. It's a very important point in esoteric acupuncture. Yet, traditional, they hardly ever use it.
Wow. So that's food for thought then, that rather than going to a traditional acupuncturist, maybe going to an esoteric acupuncturist, you're still getting a physical acupuncture treatment, but you may be getting something a little more because they're using points that normal everyday acupuncturists aren't using.
Well, also, it's another thing, it's the frequency is different. With esoteric acupuncture, we're working with wellness. With traditional acupuncture, they're working with disease. Those are complete opposites.
Yeah.
And if you look at our world today, working with disease, it's not working.
It's not working. I see that.
Our healthcare system is in shambles.
Yeah.
So, I'm encouraging people, let's work with wellness and eliminate disease by working with wellness.
Yeah. And is it also true that even when an esoteric acupuncturist is using the name of a point rather than like do 20, do 16, like traditional acupuncturists usually do, even that kind of changes the whole frequency of what's going on in that room?
Well, yeah, of course, especially if you use the Chinese name and get an ancient name. For example, do 20. In traditional Chinese medicine, they say Bai Hui, which is 100 meetings. I use an ancient name, more ancient names called Tianman, which means celestial fullness, for the same point, do 20, on top of the head. So by just understanding 100 meetings versus celestial fullness is a whole other frequency.
It does feel differently. It feels different.
And energy, every point has its own energy also. By changing the name, it has a different energy.
I just want to ask you one more thing, and this is kind of taking it to another level. Many people out there have heard of yantras and mandalas, and I have heard you say that an esoteric acupuncture treatment is turning the human body into like a yantra, or the bodies. First of all, what is a yantra, and how can it help people?
Well, yantra in its broadest means antenna.
Woo! That sounds
So,
really good.
You know, and what is things that attract energetic, electromagnetic is water. We're made of at least 70% water or more.
Some of us are made of a little more water at other times of the month. Yeah.
Anyway, so by doing a certain kind of a pattern, we're actually putting a grid, which is a way of looking at us as a walking antenna.
That is so cool.
And why would you want to have be a walking antenna? Well, there's all this information and wisdom and knowledge out there. Some people call it the Akashic records. There's others, different levels of the Akashic records. But by becoming an antenna, fine-tuned antenna, maybe we can tap into that. It's like a radio. You have a radio, you walk on the radio, but you want to get a certain channel. Well, maybe you get a channel so high frequency you can't quite tune into.
Yeah.
If you're very, very quiet, do your work, eat your greens, then you can tap into that field.
I just thought that. If you want to become an antenna, eat your greens. Is there anything else you would like to add about esoteric acupuncture as an introduction?
Well, you know, I believe in it. It's esoteric acupuncture is really built and developed for the teachers. I think one of the things we need to do in our profession, and I really with all my heart believe this, we need to change the way we think. We need to work on wellness and prevention at the bottom level, not with disease. That's a system that's been going on for thousands of years, and you fast forward to today, it's just not working.
Yeah, and it seems to me that language changes, so it would make sense that if acupuncture started out helping people with disease, that it would change too?
Yeah, of course.
Evolve?
Yeah, evolve. Well, as languages evolve, we need to evolve the language of acupuncture. So esoteric is just another way of broadening the system. It's not getting rid of the old system. The old system is part of esoteric acupuncture. It's just another, it's a bigger field. So the traditional is in one chunk of this field, and we've just broadened the field to encompass other things.
We've added an antenna.
Especially if you eat your greens.
Especially if you eat your greens. So thank you for joining me for an episode of Bright Day Esoteric Acupuncture. Now go, anchor the light. Hua.
Thank you so much.